Sleeping Dogs is an open-world action-adventure video game published by Square Enix and developed by United Front Games. Originally published on the 14th of August, 2012.
Because one day the sun would go out, then all people would begin to die.
Earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis.
2012, the year the Mayans said that the world would end. You know, maybe they were off by a decade or so. Kidding aside, it's been a full 9 years since this gem of a game graced our gaming libraries. So it's just right that we revisit this old game and see if it's still worth playing almost a decade after its release. In this game, you play as Wei Shen, an undercover cop in Hong Kong tasked with infiltrating the triad known as the Sun On, one of the most powerful and dangerous criminal organizations in this part of the world. But like all undercover cops, you sometimes get too attached to your cover.
You play saxophone at my sister's wedding, man.
Tough titty, I fucked her too.
Oh, the deception!
And once inside, you realize that these criminals, well, they're not all monsters. They're real people. This game then becomes a delicate balancing of pleasing the triads and the cops, blurring the lines between true loyalty and justice. You start as a lowly underling, extorting money from stall vendors, beating up rival gang members, and threatening any who dare oppose the Sun On you.
Where did you hear that? Here all he does is empty out the toilets in Big Smiley's restaurant.
What did you say?
After you earn street cred, you get promoted, wear better clothes, beat up more rival gang members, and threaten any who dare oppose the Sun On you.
Thanks for nothing.
Rinse and repeat.
Alright!
Seriously though, this game has good mission progression. United Front Games have also made an effort to vary the kind of missions you undertake. On one mission, you're stealing flowers from a temple, beating down the unsuspecting monks. The next, you're being chased by what seems to be an endless supply of Hong Kong triad boys in a suspenseful car chase with guns and slow-mo. Yes, the missions are good. The side missions, could be a mixed bag. Aside from their expected repetitiveness, most of them are easy to finish. But if you're a completionist, boy oh boy oh boy, some missions are so excruciatingly difficult that you may just want to rage quit. Maybe that's just me being bad at video games, but if you plan on 100%ing this game, boy you better get good. This is the main appeal of the game. It's martial arts, kung fu, beatdown, action. If ever you've wanted to feel like a humorless Jackie Chan in the movies from the 2000s, this game is it. You can do flying kicks, throw your enemy from a balcony, smack him with a fish, or my personal favorite, giving them the gift of levitation.
Wingardium Leviosa. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
The hand-to-hand combat is the draw of Sleeping Dogs. You get to upgrade your kung fu arsenal, and every time you collect these jade statues. Then you have to visit the dojo and beat up your Sifu students to gain a new move, not just press a button on the menu to increase stats. Another thing you see while exploring are these shrines. These increase your overall health. These blue boxes, they give you random stuff. Collecting these encourage you to explore every nook and cranny of the city. All of them are optional, but this is how the game rewards you. Gives you serotonins for your video game achievements. You can also temporarily increase various stats by eating pork buns.
A man who never eats pork buns is never a whole man.
Noodles.
Come get some noodles, best in Hong Kong.
Tea, and a lot more. I personally prefer the massages.
I'm sure you've noticed the guns are something of a rarity in Hong Kong. Not like in the States.
There's very little variety to the guns you get to use. There's around 4 types of guns with 4 variations each. Combat with guns, however rare, is fun. Fully upgraded, you can do slow-mo, disarming takedowns, bullet time vault, just everything with guns look better in slow-mo. As good as all that sounds though, guns are not the focus of the game. Aiming is a bit wonky, and hiding under cover is a little hit or miss. Besides, it's extremely difficult to grab a hold of guns in this game. Majority of them you don't get to use outside of certain missions, and even when you do get access to cop car trunk guns late game, Mr. Undercover Klutz here keeps losing the guns randomly. All those beatings must have damaged part of Wei's memory. A maybe unpopular opinion about this game is how good it looks. 9 years down the line, this game has shown its age when compared to the heavyweights such as Red Dead Redemption 2 or even Watch Dogs Legion. That being said, this virtual Hong Kong looks amazing. The attention to detail is astonishing. For instance, look at this scene from the beginning of the game. Look at how beautifully crafted this scene is. The way the people go about their business, the cluttered phone and electric wires with all the AC units protruding out of the walls, the people loitering while gossiping in the street. Look at how crowded and alive this night market feels. The neon signs, all that smoke, all the vendors vying for your attention. The world is absolutely littered with things to discover and stuff to do. And the detail, oh, the detail. Some NPCs' conversations gradually change as you progress in the story.
Waited for him in his place naked. I had all the special oils, his favorite toys.
Makes you want to keep eavesdropping on your neighbor's gossip. Anyway, this is how the linear parts of the city perfectly complement the open world. This is how it's properly done. From the nightclubs, the view of the city from the water, the roads, and even the idyllic beaches. These are just a few of the things you'll love about this meticulously crafted city. The vehicles in this game look stunning as well. From this GTR look-alike to the Vespa to the straight up Lambo Batmobile with guns. This game has a great selection of vehicles. Most of them aren't accessible in the beginning too. That way you get a sense of achievement when you finally get them. Look at those sexy reflections.
It's beautiful.
And then you go match that with badass outfits. From a bum to a ladies man to a straight up Buddha on a diet. It makes you feel like a badass kung fu action star. A stylish kung fu action star. Because you know what they say, fashions fade, but style is eternal. This one will be quick. The radio stations in this game is what I would say thematic. Some of these stations play Chinese songs. They sound good, but not everyone understands the lyrics of these songs. But they are pretty catchy. Maybe that's why K-pop is so in right now. There are a few very good songs though. I'ma give them that. On the topic of not understanding Cantonese, this game doesn't actually require you to learn their language. There are helpful subtitles provided you didn't forget to turn them on at the start of the game. United Front Games pulled out all the stops in the casting of these voice actors too. Wei Shen.
Well then fucking handle it, Raymond. Well, how'd you think this was gonna go down?
Uncle Po.
Uncle Po. Ah, Winston. Come in. Sit down. Have some tea.
Paul, what are you doing upstairs, Paul?
Vivian.
And I just wanted to thank you.
Alex Mundy, I'll be your rescuer today.
Amanda.
Excuse me, do you speak English?
Stuffing.
Oh, yum.
Heck, they even give you the same Rush Hour feels by casting Thomas Pendrew.
You must be a very dangerous man, Wei Shen.
And then in one fell swoop, it was taken away from me.
And Big Smiley.
Don't be stupid!
To Hong Kong, forever.
Finally, we talk about the story. The story isn't too long, not too short, it's just right. Took me around a little over 20 hours to finish. Although it comes off as stereotypical and cliched, it never bores you. It's almost like watching a series on Netflix when you just have to watch one more episode.
Chairman of the Sun On Yi. The chairman?
This game keeps you hooked by fully fleshing out the stories of the side characters, so that you actually give a
Congratulations. Peggy, you look stunning.
Thanks, Wei.
That being said, Sleeping Dogs is a kung fu action movie at its heart. It's also refreshing that the main character isn't a psychopath with anger management issues.
Next time, don't get in my fucking face!
Yet it's also not the goody two-shoes spoiler fest that was the original Watch Dogs. The story writing in this game is just top notch. Well, everything except the ending. It was just a bit too cliffhanger, obviously setting up for a sequel. A sequel that will never come because the game was deemed as a commercial failure. Another thing to add to the list of the things we want but can never get.
The fuck?
These are some of the things the game could have probably improved on. The camera. Despite the team rendering this beautiful virtual city of Hong Kong, you're unable to fully appreciate it due to the camera. So the Hong Kong skyline looks good from the water? Yeah, no. Just keep staring at your boat and the water. You want to look at the sky? Backing up your car? High-speed carjacking? This camera needed some work. Another minor annoyance is the cars. No, not how they look. They look amazing. Just how they drive. It's arcadey. Steering input has a delay, but also has oversteer. Cars have this F1-like grip, but can Tokyo drift whenever you use the handbrakes. It takes a while to get used to, but it's super fun when you master it. Even the physics-defying vehicle ramming mechanic is fun. And lastly, lack of mods. This brings us to the conclusion of the game. It isn't the most visually cutting edge, but it's very well designed. The story isn't Bioshock or Last of Us good, but it's good enough. The combat reminds you of Batman Arkham series, but a lot more fun. Individually, the gameplay, the sound, visuals, and the story might not be award-winning, but together, these parts make a better whole. Just like how ground meat and bread might be individually good, but when you place them together, it's just good. Sleeping Dogs is a unique escape to virtual Hong Kong where you star in your very own action movie. So, is it still playable after all these years? Absolutely. If you haven't played this at all yet, or you're living under a rock, go grab a copy now. It should be fairly cheap and would be well worth your money. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, click the thumbs up button. If not, go tell your mama. Or you can just place your comments down below. I plan on making more game reviews on this channel, so subscribe if you want to see more.